Hey, and welcome back to the channel. So this is our camper van tour today. Been meaning to make this video for a while and finally getting around to it. Brought it up to this beautiful spot just near the house. One of my favourite ones at the top of the hill. Views of the valleys. So we got this van a couple of years ago now, 2.5 years ago maybe. We used to do a fair bit of camping, but really with the van it just opens up so many opportunities. You can just jump in the van Friday night, decide where you're going that weekend, head off. You can move about if the weather's bad. You also meet loads of people. Van life's, there's just an awesome culture. So this is a medium wheelbase for transit. I guess you've just got to see what works for you. Is it going to be your daily driver? Do you want something a bit smaller that you can park easy, or are you going to just use it for trips and you want something a bit more spacious? That said, it still is a bit awkward driving it about. It's not awful, but we took it to Rotterdam and Thomas managed to reverse into a cafe, an actual cafe. It was a pop-up one.
It was one coffee shop, and now I'm gonna hear it like all the time. Oh, yeah. One coffee shop. Everybody has that.
Oh yeah, every day. It was brilliant. We'll have a wee look inside, do a bit of a tour of the van then. So, got our kitchen in here. I just step inside. This is Thomas's handiwork.
My pride.
Got a couple of, well, this is basically our wardrobe. Some sliding doors, which is pretty handy, quite a lot of space in there actually. Just makes use of that bulkheads. That's the first thing we did, was just rip this out. Stick on tiles. Great effect. Got a hob from eBay. Had a look at some of the fancy ones, but just didn't want to spend that much really, and this does the job fantastically. A couple of cupboards where we've got our shelves, handy for cutlery and stuff. Bit of storage down here, and we've got our gas bottle here, just linked up to the cooker.
Just to say, it's not finished, work in progress. I still need to put some shelves in there just to make more storage in and just, you know, make it a bit more workable. At the moment it's a bit mess, but it's alright. And the electrics and everything, that's over there on the side. And leisure batteries are basically built in here. So you're not seeing that. Worktop. What thickness, what's too heavy? Some people looking for something thin, very light. I personally did not care. I got nice worktop, basically kitchen worktop, 45mm thick, and it does the job and it looks bloody classy. These shelves just for, you know, seasoning, and a couple of hooks just to make yourself wee bit like cozier. There it's the roof light here, which I fitted twice actually because it leaked for the first time, so I needed to put some different seal in there, and now we've got no problems at all. I
will not forget that night that it started leaking.
That was pretty bad.
We got flooded.
We also put like thin mesh inside for the midges because they get through, and they get through in numbers.
Yeah, we'll also not forget that night. Swarmed.
Yeah, the ceiling spotlights everywhere, so really like doesn't take anything, no electricity at all basically, so that's pretty nice feature as well. Yeah, we've got V-table, which is on a ratchet, which goes down and up. You don't need legs for that, which is really handy as you're fighting kind of with the space used. Sofas, Laura made
my work. Yeah, the one thing I did in the van is to actually upholster something. Probably the only thing I'm going to upholster in my life, but I did it.
It is very nice indeed. Well, of course you can tell Laura's touch has been done in cartoons too. That would not be my first choice of cartoons, but it is here and it's alright. Well, obviously this is my touch. That has to be in every single one. Without the one it's useless. Bed we've got our own design kind of thing. If you take it out, they're just real actually. It's basically just 2 sheets of ply, and the top sheet, it's on a caskers, so it just slides out, and then we've got just mattress basically, and ta-da!
King size bed.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty sweet. And here we've got extra storage. There we go.
Ta-da! So, yeah, it's pretty useful. Keep things, just a kettle, just junk in here really. This is the
emergencies only.
yeah, there's the whole toilet situation. I won't spend much time talking about that, but it's really, everyone's got their preference. You can make sure you park near toilets, which to be honest we've done most of the time. You can always find a public toilet if you can. You're used to camping in hills anyway, you just do what you gotta do. So yeah, take your pick of toilet. The fridge is the best thing we have bought. So we've got a compressor fridge, which I'd say is really worth spending that extra bit of cash on. It virtually uses no battery at all, no power. It's really efficient. We got a 38 litre one, which is a good size. Thomas fits all his beers in it.
Ideal. That's what you need. Just a couple of breathable, you know, that's roof soffits vents actually. So I just fit them in, just to keep the air flowing. That's pretty much all you need. One more thing to mention, I got plywood everywhere on both sides. Just like, it's so much easier to put screw in if you fitting anything in than to, you know, try to put a proper proper screw in the metal. Sometimes it's really hard to do that. Even like with self-tapping screws, it's just sometimes pulling out. So I will recommend that. I got 9mm ply on the walls everywhere basically, and a 6mm just for the ceiling, because I don't care about the ceiling, it's just for the spotlights.
The electrics, we actually got done by someone. When we first got the van, it was a bit of a minefield and we decided just to get it done, although you will save yourself a lot of money if you can do it yourself. So we've got a really big solar panel on the roof, and that's hooked up to the batteries, and we have plenty power. So we've been away, maybe the van's been sitting for 4 or 5 days without being moved, and we've been able to run the fridge, the lights, USBs, laptop, whatever, no problems at all. We've got a wee battery meter in here, which is worth getting, so you can always see what your battery's at. And as Thomas showed you earlier, we've got everything just tucked away under here. Easy access if you need it, which is worth bearing in mind. You can wire up some sockets, really handy having the USBs in here. That's probably all I can really say about the electrics. Just, I mean, do some research, investigate write down what you want to run off it, work it out in terms of what size of battery you need, what size of solar panel you need if you're getting one. Another thing that's been a game changer is the diesel heater. So it's just in here, underneath the ply. Got the vent here for the air to come out, and it's not too big. It just sort of sits in there nicely in a sort of tube. And we've got the display for it over here, which we do need a bit of a new one. It's quite faint, or actually almost non-existent now, but it works great. It's warm. We went for the cheaper one, the Chinese one, although we didn't fit it ourselves. We actually got it through a company. So in Scotland, central Scotland, when we were living there before, there's an amazing company that come out and do it in your driveway, provide a warranty for it, and that was just under 400 quid, which is like half the price of the better ones. But to be honest, when I say better, this does the job. We've had it now for, yeah, coming on 2 years. We got it fitted quite soon after we got the van. It works great, it's reliable, it just feeds off the diesel, and it's efficient. It only uses the battery really when it's firing up or cooling down when the fan's on. So I would highly recommend that. I think the company also do the solar panels and fitting as well. So that's the heater. And probably last thing to say about layout in here is probably best if you're building, spend some time in the van, see what you think. When we first got the van, we packed a sofa bed in it and off we went, and we just sort of worked out as we went. We actually had a completely different layout in the beginning. We had a seat here, we had the table here, and another seat over here. But when we had our first trip, we had 2 weeks in it over near Austria, and it just wasn't very comfortable when you want to chill out at the end of the day. So we changed it up for this. And it also means you can sit like 5 or 6 people here, have drinks, which is ideal. So it's something worth bearing in mind if it's just for yourself, or if you want to be able to have people in it, or what you want to do. I think that pretty much covers this this part of the van. We'll show you the garage where we keep the bikes.
Right, so the garage. So we built it originally for 4 bikes because we had the downhill bikes as well, and we actually took them away to Austria and Czech Republic, plus skis and a snowboard. So it was pretty packed. I would not do it again, but it worked. So comfortably 3 bikes at the moment, maybe 4 if you take, you know, some wheels off and store it well. The way we put our bikes in is that we just take the front wheel off and basically just pop them in sideways. And some people, I noticed, like lots of people now just got actually the, you know, the
Lost for words.
very lost.
The sliding things.
Sliding things, yes. And the bike goes like lengthwise, but we didn't want to do it. We didn't want it to do it that way because we wanted to maximize our space inside, really. And the garage is big enough anyway, so there's no need for us to do it. And I got my tools here for like bike maintenance and that, and also my little wheel table, which I'm extremely proud of.
He loves this
I
table.
love that table. It's somewhere where you put your beer when you bleed your brakes. So yeah, that's pretty sweet because you always need somewhere to put stuff. In here I block this off because I don't like to have it open when it's raining, because it's always raining. Your stuff just gets soaked, your pillow, you know, etc. And also when are you up north or anything, it's midges. They just get in when you're putting the bikes in, and you don't want that, trust me. So yeah, just a wee slidey doors. Pretty cool design. I'm very proud of it. Yeah, love it. So that's my garage.
So that is our camper van. It's really cheap to run. It's a Ford Transit, so the parts are really cheap to get hold of. There's not been too much maintenance other than just normal stuff you would expect, really. Obviously, the more miles you do, the more you're going to have. Just the usual stuff though, brake pads, tires, stuff like that. So for us, it's been pretty good. Although that said, we deliberately, when we bought this van, we went for something that wasn't really old. This is the 2011, and the mileage, we went for something that had about 60-70 on the clock when we bought it. And that's just something to bear in mind as well. If you go for a cheaper van that's got loads and loads of miles on it, a bit older, be prepared to spend more on stuff because it will start going. So yes, it's been pretty awesome. The build, Thomas has put in a fair shift building it out. It is quite a lot of work.
He did.
I'd say probably, I guess if you're handy enough.
Depends how much time you want to spend in it.
If you want to devote loads to it at the
Yeah.
start, if you want to just do it gradually.
Or
But
if you just want to hump it, you can do it like over a couple of weeks.
yeah, just
Easily.
full time.
Yeah, full time on it.
And also it depends what kind of finish you want. If you want to just put a bed in it and go, or
Yeah.
if you want to do something a bit fancier.
Windows, to the windows. You can fit it yourself, it's that easy. Just make sure you measure like 6 times before you drill and cut. That's the only thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't be afraid of it. It's just to cutting the hole out, and then you get sealment to seal it around. And you may need a couple of clamps to, you know, jam it first, and that's about it. Don't be afraid to do it yourself, seriously.
So I think that probably brings us to the end of the video. If you have any comments, want to share your thoughts or anything, then drop them in the comments box. Equally, if you've got any questions about the van, drop them in too. As I said, this is the setup that works for us. Everyone's got their own setup and their own ways of doing things. So hopefully, yeah, that's been of interest. And I will catch you soon. Back to some of the trail videos as usual. And to finish, just to give you a wee bit of a flavour of the scenery. We've just moved near the Tweed Valley and it is epic.